Welcome to Funny and Ridiculous Reviews episode number 5. If you're new to this series, in Funny and Ridiculous Reviews I pick a game, I go to websites like Metacritic, Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, and so on and so forth, and I try to find some of the funniest, most insane, most ridiculous reviews that I could find for that particular game. In previous 4 episodes we looked at Red Dead Redemption 2, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the Far Cry series. In today's episode, we're looking at Resident Evil 6. And you are in for a treat. I have 7 funny reviews for Resident Evil 6 in store for you today. Now 7 may seem like a low number, but you're going to want to stick around to the very last review because it has to be one of the craziest, most insane, angriest, and somewhat funny reviews that I have seen thus far for a game in this series. So make sure you stick around to the end so you don't miss that, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes in the series. And let's take a look at 7 funny and ridiculous reviews for Resident Evil 6. Now all of the reviews in today's video are from Metacritic.com, and we're going to start with a review from Rick Donkulus, and he gave the game a 1 out of 10, and here's what Rick had to say. This game is a literal piece of crap. Crapcom totally shat the bed with this turkey. It felt like I had a mental instability due to the camera. Also, if you are not Japanese and do not study viruses, this game is clearly not for you. I had no idea what the frick was going on half the time. Also, the president is a frickin' zombie? WTF in these trying times. I can't deal with that many emotions at once. Good job, Capcom, or should I say Crapcom. You have fricked me for the last time. Oh, you know, as I started going through reviews for this game, funny reviews, trying to find funny ones, about 90 to 95% of the reviews that I came across were people that were very angry. People really hate Resident Evil 6. Now me personally, Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time, one of my favorite games of all time. Resident Evil 5, I loved that game. The co-op was incredible, such a fun game. Now admittedly, Resident Evil 6, I've only played a couple of hours of Leon's campaign in the game, so I don't have a lot of experience, but what I did play I was enjoying. But there are a lot of people that hate this game. So let's move on to the next review. Next up, from Metacritic, we have a review from TheBard009, and he gave the game a 0, and here's what The Bard had to say. This piece of game is the Nickelback of gaming history. Oh, I can't stand Nickelback, so I like this guy already. Capcom should be ashamed of having their logo stamped on this abomination. We should just pretend it doesn't exist and move on. I wish I could pretend that Nickelback doesn't exist, but that is not the way the world works, The Bard. This game exists, Nickelback exists, but you can still move on. In fact, let's move on to the next review. Next up on the list, we have a review from Nice Nerd. And Nice Nerd is not so nice about this game. He gave the game a 0, and here's what Nice Nerd had to say. That touch has been replaced by Gears of War, with Michael Bay acting as a director who mixed the explosions with zombies and timed events at every turn that was put in a blender and forced into your face. That taste is the most god-awful thing you tasted in your life. Oh, wow. Wow. So, throwing Gears of War and Michael Bay acting as a director into the blender with explosions and zombies and timed events and force-feeding that mixed cacophony into your face. That is, that's an interesting description of a video game for sure. Very, very interesting indeed.
6.
Moving on. Next up, we have a review from Brony Execution, and they gave the game a 0, and here's what Brony Execution had to say. Big sigh, Capcom. Are you happy now? You have your big dick action game. Good job. I'm sure you made every 12-year-old cream their pants for you exploding helicopters and roundhouse kicking zombies in the face. Who cares if you killed the mood with your stupid non-stop crank it to 11 shenanigans? The disjointed, frankly stupid storytelling, the plain Jane boring-ass characters makes me want to grab you by the collar, slam your head against the ceiling, and spit/shout in your corrupted face. F*** you. Wow. That was a pretty angry review. I'm not sure how I feel about the 12-year-old statement. That was a bit odd, Brony Execution, but I can see you're a very violent individual. However, wait till we get to the last review, because the last review makes Brony Execution's review seem like a cute little bunny rabbit. I'm telling you, the last review is insane. But let's move on to the next two before that one. Next up on the list, we have a review from Razona Blelogica. I don't know. They gave the game a 0 out of 10. Cheesy piece of cake. I hate this game so much I could even eat a cake with my yellow teeth and cry. What? What? Please stop making these games, Capcom. Good luck. Now this review definitely falls into the funny and ridiculous category. Cheesy piece of cake. I hate this game so much I could even eat a cake with my yellow teeth and cry. I have no idea what that means. And if you know what that means, let me know in the comments down below if you want to take a crack at analyzing that statement. And then at the end they say good luck. Oh man, wow. Let's move on to the next one. Next up on the list, we have a review from Narnar. Narnar gave the game a 0 out of 10, and here's what Narnar had to say. Please tell me why the hell the 6 is a giraffe getting a blowjob from a person. Oh, the shooting is no good. The aiming is stiff. It feels like you're controlling a turret with rusty gears. They said, please tell me why the hell the 6 is a giraffe getting a blowjob from a person. Now hold on, now it can't be. Let me take a look at this. Oh my god. What was Capcom thinking when they made this freaking 6 logo? That person's totally right, that's what it looks like. Oh man, I'm gonna have my editor throw this on the screen and highlight the portions that this person is talking about. Oh, Capcom, next time you make a label for a video game, please have a group of people look at it. It'll tell you if it's something that could be perceived as inappropriate before you slap it on the front cover of your game. Wow. Okay, well folks, that brings us to the main event of this video. So, I want to warn you ahead of time, there are a lot of cuss words in this review, and a lot of violent statements in this review. I did not write this review. This is not coming from me. This is coming from a Metacritic user. If you have any young children around, I would recommend throwing them in another room and covering their ears so that they cannot hear any of this insane review that you're about to hear. This person is very angry and they hate this game with every fiber of their being. So, with all that being said, let's get started. Okay folks, strap in and prepare yourselves for one of the most insane and epic rant angry reviews I have ever seen. Here we go. This insane review comes to us from Metacritic user WileyFox270, and needless to say, they gave the game a 0. A f***ing disaster, a cluster of the greatest magnitude, thousands of quick time events holding you back all the time, loading all the time right at crucial points in the action when you're all worked up, handgun ammo up the arse long after the stage when a handgun's of any use cluttering up your inventory. The pickup item button's the same as the reload button, so every time you press it, you reload and get by a zombie. Ridiculous aiming position. Every time you aim, you're looking at the ground. Stupid camera views disorienting you all the time, etc. etc. Oh, we're not done yet. It gets better. This game throws in your face at every turn. This is the end of me playing not only Resident Evil, but games in general. It's that bad. A complete waste of time and then some. Wow. This guy or girl or whoever hates this game so much that it makes them want to completely stop playing video games. That is insane to me personally, but you know, it's their prerogative. Let's continue this review. The most brutal, violent road rage killings pale into insignificance besides what you'd like to do to the programmers of this garbage. It's time for them to start getting violent, folks, so get ready. It's like they deliberately programmed it just to annoy people to the point where they'll commit a horrific murder or mass murder, which makes Hannibal Lecter look like a fluffy pink bunny. The makers of this horrendous insult should not only be barred from making video games, they should be imprisoned, tried at Nuremberg for serious crimes against the video gaming public, sentenced to torture and death, then thrown into hell for 1,000 years to suffer grisly torments at the hands of ferocious demons so that they can feel the gigantic suffering of all those who have had this foul black vomit inflicted on them. Gosh. Oh, wow. I really hope I don't ever meet this person in real life because they sound like a very intense individual. That was a sentence. That was one sentence. Oh man. Oh, and we're not done yet. Let's keep going. Resident Evil 4 was fantastic. I agree. Despite its flaws. Number 5 was a gross breach of trust, a super annoying, rage-inducing insult to the greatness of 4, which robbed the makers of number 4 of almost all the respect they had from people. I disagree. And number 6, even worse than 5, and just makes you want to break all contact with the toxic makers of the series and hope that they suffer horrendously for their disgraceful crimes against gaming. Honestly, a score of 0 is far too good for this. I would have given it a -9 if I could. It's that bad. We're still not done. My advice to anyone considering buying it, don't. Even if you get it for £1 or $1, it's not worth all the mental anguish it will cause you. It will ruin you. Oh, this is blowing my mind. This is absolutely blowing my mind. I've never read somebody being so angry at a video game before. A horrible experience which has you bellowing and roaring at the screen all the time like King Kong on angel dust, or a mixture of Hitler, Hannibal Lecter, and Harvey Keitel all rolled into one. It's enough to send many people to a psychiatrist. Unbelievable. The stuff that this person comes up with is just mind-blowing. Let's keep going. It will ruin your mood day after day, demoralize you psychologically, and leave you sitting more impotently raging at the makers, knowing that you're unable to inflict the gruesome punishment on them that they deserve, and wishing you were a millionaire so that you could take contracts out on all of them with a professional hitman who you would gladly pay extra to torture them for weeks or months before killing them. Wow. Oh, I don't know about you all out there, but I am glad this person is not a millionaire, because I would hate to think what this person would be spending their money on right now. Goodness gracious. Let's keep going. RE4 will never be equaled. Don't waste your time hoping. Give up on this crowd of imbeciles. Don't allow them to continue making a living from putting out such poor, insulting, demoralizing rubbish. They are making money from misery. They should be made destitute from mass refunding of the money that they've made from annoying, irritating, infuriating, and demoralizing people with this perfunctorily made, uninspired, overcomplicated, half-hearted, designed by by a committee mixture of lukewarm diarrhea mixed with vomit, which even the demons of hell would disown on account of it being so lacking in passion, sloppy, shoddy, and fourth rate. Oh my gosh. An absolute cluster. As I said at the start, it would drive a saint to mass murder if the makers of this ridiculous tragedy don't refund everyone the money they've wasted on it, and number 5, pay for their psychologist bills and pay for them damages for all the mental anguish and suffering they've undergone. They really should profusely apologize to the gaming public on TV and the internet before re-signing, then committing ritual suicide by disembowelment. Such is the gargantuan shame due to them for this poor, disgusting, inspiring, hate-inspiring insult. This is one of the most insane things that I think I've ever read. Oh, we're almost done, I promise. Just a little bit more. I spit in their faces and on their graves and say to them in the manner of Steven Seagal, you and die, before letting the video game demons of hell carry them away to their just and gruesome deserts. Total scum is my description of the game makers. I hope they read this review and die of shame. Don't believe any positive reviews by video game sellers. They just want your money and to shift a bad product, a turkey, a real stinker off their shelves. Don't be ripped off. Oh, wow. I'm exhausted just from reading that. That was absolutely insane. And this person could legitimately be a dangerous individual out there. I mean, an average person, or even a non-average person, is not going to go on Metacritic.com and post a review of this caliber. I mean, that was one of the most violent, angry rants about a video game I think I have ever read. And parts of it were funny and parts of it were disturbing, but it was entertaining. You know, it was somewhat entertaining. I completely disagree with most everything that they said, pretty much everything that they said. I mean, the game is not that bad. I mean, come on, it's really not. Like I said, I played the first couple of hours of Leon's campaign and I actually enjoyed it. I was having a good time. I kind of want to go back and finish Leon's campaign and play the rest of the campaigns. It's not as good as other Resident Evil games, of course, because it's like they took Resident Evil and wanted to make it more of an action game instead of a survival horror game. But that still doesn't mean that it's inherently a bad game. It might be a bad Resident Evil game from a traditionalist point of view, from somebody who's been playing Resident Evil games from the beginning and likes the survival horror aspect of it. So from that point of view, I can understand why people might not like it, because it's not like a traditional Resident Evil game. But that does not mean it is a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's an okay game. Not a great game. Not a terrible game. Just an okay game, in my opinion, of course. But that review, wow. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm speechless. So there you have it, folks. 6 funny and ridiculous reviews for Resident Evil 6 and 1 absolutely psychotic, insane, long, rant, angry review for Resident Evil 6. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and join me on this journey. Next goal is 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to slowly inch our way there, but we could get there faster with your support, so I greatly appreciate it. And if you missed the first 4 episodes of this series, I will leave links to all of those in the descriptions down below. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Resident Evil 6. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Tell me why. I'm really curious. Let's have a discussion about it. And let me know which one of these reviews you thought was the craziest, funniest, whatever. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go get ready for the final season of Game of Thrones, which premieres tonight, and I am pumped. So, keep playing games and having a good time. I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy.